A very good afternoon to all. Elrigu namaskara. So it gives me great pleasure to invite all of you to this very important program today. As we all know, COVID struck sometime in the end of 2019, and we had to face a lot of COVID-related restrictions from March 2020. So one of the things that affected us the most was that we did not get a chance to say thank you and goodbye to many of our employees who served with distinction over many years and contributed to the growth of this institute. So that was something that was bothering us. And the director has taken the lead in deciding that no, we should call back all our former employees who superannuated and give them a proper farewell and express our gratitude to them for the services that they've rendered over the years. So on this occasion, it gives me great pleasure to once again welcome all of you and some of your family members to participate in this important event. So before I ask the director to say a few words, let me ask everybody to give a standing ovation to all our superannuated employees. Thank you. So I'm going to we are changing protocol a little bit. I'm going to request our director, Dr. Pratima Murthy, Senior Professor of Psychiatry, to start off the proceedings by saying a few words. Ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I first of all want COVID. What else can you do for passing to meet all of our very esteemed former staff? This is in some way a mixed moment function. Let me welcome not just our former officers, officials, faculty who were superannuated between March 20 to May 2021. Let me take this opportunity of welcoming each and every one of your family members. You are part, you were part, you are part, and you will be part of the extended demands family. So, usually it is customary when an employee is superannuating to invite the federation of the particular employee's seminal contribution to this institute. Irrespective of where we work, we are finally in the service of patients in this institution. So whatever it is we are doing in whichever section, whether it's the clinical section, whether it's in the office section, we truly contribute to patient care and well-being. There are some of our colleagues who spent more than 3 decades, possibly close to 4 decades in this institution. Is there anybody who's done more than 4 decades? No. A large part of one's lifetime that one has served this institution, which is wonderful to have all of you back, to recognize all the services that you have rendered, and to celebrate your contribution to NIMHANS along with your families. We have with us many of the heads of departments as well. So welcome to all of you. We have several of the faculty, staff, and other members of the various sections of NIMHANS. And we have a lot of people watching it online as well. Somehow I think there is still that hesitancy to very readily come to all programs as such. In fact, even in the organization of these programs, there's been a little hesitancy, but maybe in coming to these programs, people are a little hesitant. We respect that. So we've had this hybrid. And of course, we've also had some anxious moments on whether we will be able to have conducted in a hybrid fashion, but luckily we've been able to do that. So for those of you who are watching it online, welcome to you also. I am aware that a few of our officials are not able to be here in person today. Some of them are not in the country, some of them are not in the city, and I'm sure we will miss them immensely on this occasion. So it's almost, I know it's like reading that convocation list where you call out all the graduating students, you announce somebody in person and some in absentia. So I hope, Murli, we will also announce the in absentia, and we will be sending them our compliments and our remembrances of them at a later date. So once again, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Let me, on behalf of the Institute, congratulate you for your wonderful service to the institution. Thank you so much for being part of the NIMHANS family. We all remember with great gratitude the immense service that you have rendered. And of course, this is not goodbye. Even this is not goodbye, certainly. This is au revoir. We hope to see you come back to NIMHANS again and again and again. And I hope you will also be able to contribute to the further growth of NIMHANS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So now that ma'am mentioned the similarity between the convocation and this program, I must say that, having been the MC of the convocation for a few years now, I would always refer to the batch as the 2020 batch or the 2021 batch of graduating students. So here we have the COVID batch of superannuating employees, and a big round of applause to all of you. So I'm going to start with reading the service particulars of the employees who superannuated during this period. And as I read out the particulars, I'll request you to kindly come on stage, and I'll request the director and registrar along with our BMS to kindly felicitate the superannuating employees. And while you're on stage, if you would like to share a few words, we'll request you to speak from the dais itself. So let me start first. With Shri Prasid Kumar, Chief Administrative Officer at the time of retirement. Mr. Prasid was born on 20th of March 1960, and he entered service on the 7th of December 1982. And at the time of his retirement had put in 37 years, 3 months and 25 days of service. At the time of his retirement, Shri Prasid Kumar was holding the post of Chief Administrative Officer. Sir, you come here.
Good afternoon, everybody. When 2-3 days back, our personal section assistant administrative officer, Mr. Prabhu Rangapan, said, you have been invited for this felicitation function. Really, I got a surprise because I retired March 2020, almost 2 years. Usually, no administration will bother to invite after 2 years just to facilitate. Of course, there are some technical issues are there, Corona and other things. So first of all, I want to say thanks to our beloved director, registrar, our medical superintendent, and all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. For me, I consider this is a great honor, greater honor, and the greatest honor which I can get it from this noble institution. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Prasid. So the next superannuating employee, the next three of them are not there, but I'll just read out their particulars. Srimati Juliana Montero, Senior Nursing Officer, was born on 7th of April 1960 and entered service on 20th of February 1989. And at the time of superannuation on 30th of April 2020, had put in a total of 31 years, 3 months, and 24 days of service. And she was holding the post of Senior Nursing Officer at the time of retirement. Please clap in absentia. Thank you. Dr. H.N. Venkatesh, Senior Technician, was born on the 5th of April 1960, entered service on 8th March 1984, and at the time of his superannuation on 30th of April 2020, had put in a total of 36 years, 1 month, and 23 days of service. He was working in the Department of Human Genetics at the time of superannuation. Sri Alfred William Paul, Superintendent Occupational Therapist, born on the 25th of February 1972, joined service on the 20th of October 1999, and took VRS on 7th of April 2020 after putting in a total of 20 years, 5 months, and 19 days of service. He was working in the Department of Neurological Rehabilitation at the time of his retirement. I'll now call upon Sri K. Balakrishna to kindly come on stage. Mr. K. Balakrishnan was holding the position of Senior Technician at the time of retirement. Born on the 25th of April 1960, he entered service on 1st July 1985, and at the time of his retirement on 30th of April 2020, had put in a total of 34 years and 10 months of service. He was working in the Department of Transfusion Medicine and Hematology at the time of his retirement.
A very good evening to everybody. Respected our director, registrar, medical superintendent, deans, and RMOs, and other faculties, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I thank our institute authorities for having invited me to attend this farewell function. Though it is late, they have remembered us and have given us honor to us. So I'm very grateful and thankful to them. And when I joined this institution, I joined in 1985, July 1st. So at that time, there were rocks and pushers in the director office and IT cell and this one car parking areas and even the Zero Center faculty block. Now, when the time is passed on, those things were demolished and now ultra-modern buildings come with sophisticated equipments. This will improve the quality of work and nature of work and also to meet out the quantum of work by NIMA and staff. This is a very good achievement by NIMA and authorities. And next, sincerity, honesty, and humanity and dedications. These are the main qualities we have to follow during our service. So when we follow this, all these things, it will improve the quality of work. And in turn, it will improve the patient care at our institution. Then I sincerely thank our institute authorities for having offered me a job at demands, and they have provided me accommodation, and they have provided me medical facilities and other amenities to me and family. On behalf of myself and my family, I express my sincere thanks and heartfelt gratitude and gratefulness to our institution, particularly our director, and other faculties, dean, registrar, everybody. And finally, I thank everybody who are assisting me with during my service throughout my service. Thank you very much. So kind of you.
Thank you, Mr. Balakrishna. I now invite Shri S. Sripatacharya, artist, to kindly come on stage, sir, along with your family members. Shri S. Sripatacharya was holding the designation of artist at the time of his superannuation from this institute. Born on the 4th of April 1960, Mr. Sripatacharya joined service on the 4th of May 1988. And he has put in a total of 31 years, 11 months, and 27 days of service in this institution. And he was working in the Department of Mental Health Education at the time of his superannuation.
ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರೇ, ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರೇ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವ ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳೇ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ನಾನು 1988ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಓಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಓಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈಜಾಡ್ದೋ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವೋ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಓಷನ್ನು, ನಿಮ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಓಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಚಿತ್ರಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗ್ಗೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಬ್ಬನ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಗೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಏಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಗಣ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಆರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಚಿರಋಣಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆಯಿಂದ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆನೆ ನಾನು ವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.
I next call upon Srimati A. Chandra, Principal Private Secretary at the time of her retirement, to kindly come on stage. I'll also invite her family members to please join her on stage, and I'll request the Director, Registrar, and DMS to kindly felicitate her. Srimati A. Chandra was born on the 3rd of April 1960. Her date of entry into service was 15th January 1981. And at the time of her retirement on 30th April 2020, she had put in a total of 39 years, 3 months, and 15 days of service. She joined this institute as a stenographer grade 2 in 1981, subsequently became stenographer grade 1 in 1987, and further promoted to the posts of personal secretary in 2015 and principal private secretary with effect from 27/3/2020. As on the date of her retirement, she was holding the post of principal private secretary and working at the office of the medical superintendent.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of NIMANS, my family, and all the retired colleagues, I would like to thank NIMANS and to say that we remain ever grateful to NIMANS. If I remember in NIMANS, I can't end up in few lines, but since I'm playing right now with my grandson all the time, I remember whenever I remember NIMANS, it's like fuel in running our family vehicles to reach different destinations and for different purposes. Everything has to be fulfilled. It's NIMANS is like fuel only. Without fuel, our family vehicles would not have. And I thank all the NIMANS dignitaries and my colleagues. That's thank you.
Thank you, Chandra Madam. So now I'll request Shri H. Lingaraju to kindly come on stage along with his family members. Shri Lingaraju was born on the 24th of April 1960, and he entered service on the 20th of February 1989. He had put in a total of 31 years, 2 months, and 11 days at the time of his retirement on 30th of April 2020. Shri Lingaraju joined the institute as a lift operator and subsequently was promoted to the post of wireman bar multitasking staff. Subsequently, he was promoted to the post of electrician in 2016. At the time of his retirement, he was working in the engineering section. Thank you, Mr. Lingaraju. I now invite Dr. R. Ravi Kumar, Professor of Neuromicrobiology at the time of retirement, to kindly come on stage. Dr. Ravi Kumar was born on the 23rd of May 1955. He entered service on 1st September 2008, and at the time of his retirement had put in 11 years and 9 months of service at NIMHANS. He was professor of microbiology throughout his tenure at NIMHANS. In addition, he has held positions of head of the department, associate dean of basic sciences, and NABH coordinator, and he superannuated on the 31st of May 2020.
Good afternoon to everybody. Respected Madam Pratima Devi, Director, respected Registrar Dr. Shankar Narayan Rao, respected Medical Superintendent Dr.
Muralidharan.
Muralidharan, and also other colleagues, and also all our department people, especially our head of the department, Dr. Nagaratna, Dr. Patil, Dr. Veena, and the other technologists of the neuromicrobiology department. I started my career in NIMHANS in 1985 as senior resident. That was mainly because of our beloved madam, Dr. Chandramukhi. At that time, when I came to NIMHANS, just I was searching for a job. Madam, I went to the Department of Neuromicrobiology. Madam immediately said, come, you have to join as senior resident. I had not completed even MD at that time, MD microbiology, but I was appointed immediately because of my previous experience in CMC Hospital, Vellore. Later, I got the degree and then I continued here for 5 years as a senior resident. That time there was no faculty post at the Department of Neuromicrobiology, so I had to leave for Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology. From there, I went to Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences, then to Vijayanagar Institute of Medical Sciences. Then again, it was a great opportunity for me to come back. Mainly for, at that time, Madam was superannuating, and then Madam told me, you had to come back. You apply for professor post at neuromicrobiology. And also my colleague, Dr. V. Ravi, was heading the Department of Neurovirology, also helped me so that you can join NIMHANS. So then I joined in the year 2008 as a professor of neuromicrobiology. And it is a great pleasure for working at NIMHANS. And I was given many positions apart from professor and head of Department of Neuromicrobiology, as a chief coordinator for NABL first and then the NABH. And then I was also an associate dean for basic sciences. Then I was also given the chairman for the PhD committee. I must thank from the beginning Dr. G.N. Narayan Reddy, who was the director, then director in 1985. Then Dr. D. Nagaraja, who was the director when I joined in 2008. Then Dr. Satish Chandra, Dr. B.N. Gangadhar, all of them have given me an opportunity to work at this institution. It is a great pleasure to work in this institution, to involve all the people. I was only in the Department of Neuromicrobiology. When I took up NABH coordinator, I used to interact with all the departments in the institute. That was my great, pleasure to work with all the people of the NIMHANS people. Then various other things which happened, apart from that, the curricular activities we used to conduct, and then my students, especially in the microbiology and also as associate dean, I used to interact with all the students of the basic sciences category. So I must thank all the technologists who helped me working as head of the department in this institution, and also office assistants and all the people involved in various activities of NABL and NABH. And later, I got the opportunity to interact with Dr. Gururaj, Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao, Dr. Satish Girimaji. They are all became directors, and then they helped me completing the NABH process at the NIMHANS. Finally, it was a great achievement for the institute that NABH and NABL, it was for the first time in the Institute of National Importance got both NABL and NABH accreditation. And then on the day after completing my retirement, that is superannuation in the month of March 2020, then immediately Dr. Gangadhar said, okay, you continue as a coordinator till you are placed in some other place. So I continued to work the day one onwards after retirement at NIMHANS. Then immediately I was called to take up the chief coordinator post at the NABH for Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology. So I'm not even a single day completed this retirement thing. And I'm now still working at Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology. And later, I must also thank the present director, Dr. Pratima Murthy, who has given a lot of opportunity for me to come here and then bring my people from Kidwai to get the training for NABH and other things. Still it is going on. So, and also the registrar, Dr. Shankar Narayan Rao, and the other colleagues in the institute are helpful. So I'm grateful to all these people and thank all the people, and also my family members, my son, my daughter, and my wife all helped me in continuous working in this institute. I have spent very less time in the family, so pardon me for the things. So this is a historic moment. I can say that all the people like convocation, Madam said, COVID batch. So COVID given opportunity for all of us to meet at this time and then go as a retirement person. Thank you very much for everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar. I now invite Shri N. Srinivasa, senior radiographer, to come on stage with your family members, please. Shri N. Srinivasa was holding the designation of senior radiographer at the time of his retirement. Born on the 7th of May, 1960, he joined service on 24th of March, 1986. And at the time of his retirement on 31st May, 2020, he had put in a total of 34 years, 2 months, and 8 days of service in this institution. He joined as a radiographer in 1986 and was promoted to the post of senior radiographer in 1997. And at the time of his retirement, he was working with the Department of Neuroimaging and Interventional Radiology. I now call upon Srimati Jayalakshmamma to kindly come on stage along with her family members. Srimati Jayalakshmamma was holding the position of hospital bar office assistant at the time of her superannuation. She was born on the 1st of June, 1960 and joined service at NIMHANS on the 20th of February, 1989. At the time of retirement on 31st of May, 2020, she had put in a total of 31 years, 3 months, and 9 days of service. She has worked in many different areas of the hospital, including the casualty, female surgical ward, stroke ward, female medical ward, and the recovery ward at the time of the superannuation. Thank you. I now call upon Srimati Bharati, the hospital assistant, bar office assistant, and her family members to kindly come on stage. Srimati Bharati was born on the 1st of June 1960 and joined service at NIMHANS on the 22nd of May 1984 and retired on 31st of May 2020, having put in a total of 36 years and 10 days of service. During her time at NIMHANS, she has worked in the pediatric medical ward, psychiatry B block, Pavilion 3, and at CSST. Thank you, Bharati Avre. I now invite Dr. Mohammad Amir Hamza, retired professor of psychiatric social work, to the dais, along with his family members. Dr. Mohammad Amir Hamza was born on 20th of June 1955. He joined service at NIMHANS on the 20th of February 1986. And at the time of his retirement on 30th of June 2020, he had put in a total of 34 years, 4 months, and 11 days of service. He has held various positions at the institute, including that of psychiatric social worker, assistant professor of psychiatric social work, associate professor, additional professor, and finally, professor of psychiatric social work. He retired from service on 30th of June 2020.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for arranging for this program. And I, being with a NIMHANS family member, I am very grateful. And being as a faculty and with the department, all our staff members, all the other departments, they are very cordially with me. I am so happy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next superannuating employee is Srimati S.E.Y. Veena. I'm not sure if Srimati Veena is here. So I'm going to go ahead and read out the service particulars. She was born on the 11th of June 1960 and entered service on 5th May 1984. and had put in a total of 36 years, 1 month, and 25 days of service on the date of her superannuation on 30th of June 2020. She initially was appointed as psychiatric nurse in 1984, and she was promoted as senior nursing officer in 2006. Subsequently, she was promoted to the post of assistant nursing superintendent in 2014 and deputy nursing superintendent in 2020. During her time at NIMHANS, she has worked in the Neuro Center, in the neurology and neurosurgery wards, the recovery ward, adult psychiatry, child psychiatry, psychiatric rehabilitation services, and in the family ward. Can we have a round of applause for Srimati Veena, please? I now invite Srimati Vasanta and her family members to kindly come on stage. Srimati Vasanta was holding the position of hospital bar office assistant at the time of her superannuation. She was born on the 22nd of June, 1960. She joined service on 14th September, 1981 and retired on 30th of June, 2020. She has put in a total of 38 years, 9 months, and 17 days of service at NIMHANS. During her time here, she has worked in various sections, including the dietary section, the female surgical ward, female medical ward, head injury ward, outpatient department, pavilion 3 and 4, academic section, biophysics lab, and the Department of Biostatistics. Shri Nanjay Gowda, hospital bar office assistant, has not been able to make it today, so I'll just read his service details. He was born on 19th of June, 1960 and joined service on the 20th of February, 1989. And at the time of his retirement on 30th of June, 2020, had put in 31 years, 4 months, and 9 days of service. He was working mainly in the engineering section and in the EG lab at the time of his retirement. I now invite Srimati Revati BK, Chief Administrative Officer in charge at the time of superannuation, to kindly come on stage along with her family members. Srimati Revati was born on 31st of October 1963 and joined NIMHANS on 22nd of August 1985. And at the time of her VRS on the 2nd of July 2020, she had put in a total of 34 years, 10 months, and 12 days of service. She joined as LDC in 1985 and subsequently she was promoted to the post of UDC, Manager, Assistant Administrative Officer, and further promoted to the posts of Administrative Officer and CAO in charge from 1/4/2020. At the time of her VRS, she was holding the position of In Charge Chief Administrative Officer.
Thank you, sir.
Respected Director, Registrar, MS, DMS, and all my dear friends, faculty, staff, students, and all friends. Good evening, everyone. I joined in 1985 and voluntarily retired on 2nd July 2020. On the day of my retirement, I completed my official duties, went back home, just sat, relaxed, and thought something was missing. And what was that? This beautiful event, the retirement farewell event, and the precious memento from NIMHANS. Thank you, Director Ma'am, Registrar Sir, for calling us back and felicitating us. Thank you so much. This will always be remembered. I was fortunate enough to work in core sections of NIMHANS, personal section, hospital staff section, claims section, and academic and evaluation section. NIMHANS has given me everything: great learning experience, great work experience, and of course, beautiful memories. My bonding with NIMHANS shall continue forever. I would especially like to thank Mr. Chandan Kumar, PRO, who has always been supportive, Madam Nagaveni, who is more a family friend to me than a colleague, Mr. Hema Prabhu, with whom I have worked for several years. The list is big, and so I thank the entire NIMHANS fraternity for being with me throughout and making my working life wonderful. Thank you so much. On the family front, it is my daughter. She is everything to me. She is my life. She has grown up looking at her mother, learning from her mother, and actually admiring the one-handed activities of her mother. Thank you, my child. Added to my family is a gem, my son-in-law. I would rather call him my son. My mother and my brother have always been very supportive to me. But my biggest attraction is my grandson. He has made my life complete. They are all here, and thank you so much. I would like to congratulate and thank all the senior faculty who are here today, getting felicitated. All my dear friends, thank you once again. I would like to thank everybody from NIMHANS, who have been supportive and who have interacted with me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I think he has to wait for some more time for his superannuation. I think Srimati Lalitama Y is not here. So I'm going to read out the particulars. Srimati Lalitama retired as Principal Private Secretary at the time of her superannuation. She was born on 29th of July 1960, joined service on the 2nd of May 1983, and retired on 31st of July 2020, having put in a total of 37 years and 3 months. She joined as a stenographer grade 2, subsequently got promoted to the post of stenographer grade 1, private secretary, and principal private secretary. On the date of retirement, she was holding the post of principal private secretary and was working in the Department of Neurosurgery. Now, it is indeed an honor for me to call upon Dr. G.S. Uma Maheshwar Rao to kindly come on stage. Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao, at the time of his retirement, was holding the position of Senior Professor of Neuroanesthesia and Neurocritical Care. He was born on Teachers' Day, 1955. And at the time of, he joined service on the 23rd of July, 1983. And at the time of his retirement on 30th of September, he had put in a total of 37 years, 2 months, and 5 days of service at this institute. During his time at NIMHANS, Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao has held various posts, including that of lecturer, assistant professor, associate professor, additional professor, professor, and then subsequently senior professor from 2009 to 2020. He has also held the post of head of the Department of Neuroanesthesia and Neurocritical Care, the Dean of Neurosciences from 2011 to 2014, and he also held the position of in-charge director of NIMHANS from 2015, 1st to 21st August 2015. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao?
Yeah, respected director, registrar, medical superintendent, deputy medical superintendent, dear friends. So the other day, I had a missed call on my mobile. I was hesitant because I was hesitant to pick up these missed calls. That will be some, some unwanted call. But I ventured to pick it up, and there was Mr. Hema Prabhu. He said, "What is it?" So we are felicitating all the retired faculty on Monday. For a moment, I could not understand what the thing was. So then it took a while for me to gulp the fact that 2 years after my retirement, I'm being called to for this felicitation function. So I can talk for days about NIMHANS, write books on my experiences in NIMHANS. I don't want to bore you with all that. I just want to tell you two things. The best thing that has happened to me in my life was that I got a job in NIMHANS. Where else can you get such a wonderful hospital, such a variety of patients, and such wonderful colleagues, and most importantly, the wonderful residents and the nursing staff, and of course, the administrative staff. So I enjoyed every moment of my stay in NIMHANS. When I started in this institute, we had only 2 operation theaters with 700 operations being carried out, and one small ward called as respiratory critical care unit. 3 beds in one corner of the neuro center. And from that stage, by the time I retired, it has grown up to have 12 operating rooms, 7,000 operations being performed, and 15 faculty members and 25 residents. And what now, the facilities here are world class. Where else would the government spend so much of money? It's my luck that I worked in this institute where the government is spending liberally on the equipment, on the facilities, and in the end, I have the pleasure of working. I have the pleasure of teaching. I have the pleasure of doing research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Srimati R. Lakshmi, senior photographer, to kindly come on stage. Srimati Lakshmi was born on 28th of September 1960 and joined service on the 14th of April 1988. And at the time of her retirement on 30th of September 2020, she had put in 32 years, 5 months, and 17 days of service. She joined the institute as a photographer and was promoted to the post of senior photographer in 2018. And at the time of her retirement, she was working in the Department of Mental Health Education. So at this point, I must say that a lot of history of NIMHANS has been documented by the photographs of Srimati Lakshmi. So round of applause for her.
So I would like to thank Director, Registrar, DMS, and Murli sir. And also like to thank my department staff, Ravi, Rajiv, Dr. Meena, Lata, and of course, Dr. Jayashree, who is no more, and Rajaram, Ravindran, and Mr. Manja. If I have hurt anyone, it's not intentional. Kindly excuse me. It's been a great day. Thank you very much.
The next person is unfortunately not here with us, late Shri S. Dhananjaya, but I understand his family members are here. I'll invite the spouse of late Shri Dhananjaya to kindly come on stage. Shri Dhananjaya was working as a mortuary assistant at the time of his untimely demise. He was born on the 5th of April 1960 and entered service on the 12th of August 1996. He had taken VRS just prior to his demise, and he had put in a total of 24 years, 1 month, and 5 days of service. He was working in the Department of Neuropathology, and within a few months of taking VRS, he passed away on the 16th of December 2020. I now have the honor of reading out the service particulars for the next person, who sometimes you get the impression is actually not retired, Dr. B.N. Gangadhar. So, Sir was holding the position of Senior Professor of Psychiatry and Director of NIMHANS at the time of his superannuation. Born on the 3rd of October 1955, as per his records, he entered service on the 31st of July 1982, and he retired on the 31st of October 2020, having put in a total of 38 years and 3 months at NIMHANS. He has held various positions at NIMHANS, including that of lecturer, assistant professor, associate professor, additional professor, professor, and senior professor. Some of the administrative positions that Sir has held include HOD of Psychiatry from 2006 to 2009, Medical Superintendent from 2009 to 2011, Dean of Behavioral Sciences from 2014 to 2016, and the Director of NIMHANS from 2016 January to 3rd October 2020. And we all know that he's been recently honored with the Padma Shri. So can we have a big round of applause for Dr. BNG, please, who couldn't make it here? Next on the list is Srimati Tangakreedam, Assistant Nursing Superintendent in charge. I don't think Tangakreedam's sister could make it here. So she was born on the 6th of October 1962 and entered service on the 1st of March 1989. She took VRS on the 3rd of October 2020, having put in a total of 31 years, 7 months, and 2 days of service. She has held various positions at NIMHANS, including staff nurse, senior nursing officer, and assistant nursing superintendent. And she has worked in almost all the wards and the clinical nursing services wherever she was posted at NIMHANS. And at the time of retirement, she was holding the position of assistant nursing superintendent. A round of applause for Sister Tangakreedam, please. I now invite Srimati Anis Babu to kindly come on stage. Along with the family members, please. Yeah. Srimati Anis Babu was holding the position of Deputy Nursing Superintendent in charge at the time of her VRS. She was born on the 26th of January 1962 and entered service on the 17th of June 1986. And at the time of VRS on the 12th of October 2020, had put in a total of 34 years, 3 months, and 25 days of service. She was appointed as a psychiatric nurse in 1986, promoted as senior nursing officer in 2006, and ANS in 2010. Further, she was promoted as deputy nursing superintendent on the 28th of May 2020. She has worked in most of the wards, such as a psychiatry special ward, B block, A block, post-operative ward, radiology department, male surgical ward, recovery ward, head injury ward, casualty, the short stay ward, rehabilitation services, Center for Addiction Medicine, psychiatry, open general ward, and the nursing office. At the time of retirement, she was holding the position of Deputy Nursing Superintendent in charge.
Good evening, everyone. I only have to thank God and a big thank you to all of you.
Next is Srimati R. Kalyani, who's again not been able to join us today. She was holding the position of private secretary at the time of her retirement. A VRS, sorry. At the time, she was born on the 30th of September 1961, entered service on 9th May 1983, and took VRS on 18th of October 2020, after putting in a total of 37 years, 5 months, and 10 days of service. She joined the institute as stenographer grade 2 in 1983 and subsequently promoted to the post of stenographer grade 1 and private secretary. At the time of her retirement, she was holding the position of private secretary in the Department of Nursing. A round of applause for Srimati Kalyani, please. I now invite Shri Subbaya to kindly come on stage with his family members. Shri Subbaya was holding the position of hospital bar office assistant at the time of his retirement. He was born on 15th October 1960 and entered service on 20th of February 1989. And at the time of retirement on 31st of October 2020, had put in 31 years, 8 months, and 9 days of service. He was working in the Department of Psychiatry throughout his tenure at NIMHANS. So I now invite Dr. Arvinda, Deputy Medical Superintendent, to kindly take over the responsibilities from me and to join me in honoring our superannuating employees. So Dr. Arvind. Circle
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ವರ್ಗದವರೆಗೂ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವರು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸ್ಮರಿಸಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಕೂಡ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈಗ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮನ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿ ರವಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿ ರವಿ ಅವರು 1985ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿರಿಯ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ನ್ಯೂರೋವೈರಾಲಜಿ ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ HOD ಆಗಿ ಡೀನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿ 2014ರಿಂದ 2017ರವರೆಗೂ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಕುಲಸಚಿವರಾಗಿ 2010ರಿಂದ 2015ರವರೆಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ವಿಜಿಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ 2016ರಿಂದ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. 2020 ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ.
I'm more used to this place than sitting there. Beloved Director, Professor Pratima, Dr. Murli, Professor Shankar Narayan Rao, Dr. Arvind, and my dear fellow COVID retirees, and all my colleagues, faculty members, students, staff who are here. I think Dr. Uma Maheshwar said it very well. He said it's fortunate to work in this institute. I always tell one very famous quotation that I remember. Louis Pasteur was the father of microbiology. He worked a lot on bacteria, viruses, and fungi. On his deathbed, he said, "The seed is nothing, the soil is everything." He was referring to the body's response to infection. I would like to say the same thing here. The seed is nothing, but the soil is everything. The same seed you sow in any other place may not give the same kind of bloom and the fruit or the flower that you expect. And immense is one such sacred soil. I must thank Professor Narayan Reddy and Dr. Chandramukhi. I always refer to them as my godparents in the institute for having selected me and given me the opportunity to grow and express myself. And all successive directors, registrars, all my wonderful faculty colleagues. Most importantly, I want to thank my department staff. Professor Anita Desai is here, my longest colleague in the department. All my faculty colleagues, all the technical staff, and the support staff. They all were responsible for my growth and always stood by me and supported me in whatever I did. My 25 PhD students and large number of other students gave me an opportunity to be a teacher. All the national, state, and international agencies gave me an opportunity to share my thoughts and experience. In my 5 years as registrar, I've almost worked with everybody in the institute, and I must thank all the sections with which I worked. They were always very helpful, cooperative, and most importantly, they also were tolerant of my short-tempered behavior sometimes. So I would like to thank everybody. This institution is, as Dr. Pratima said, I've spent more than half my life here. And when I got married, I told my wife that the institute is first and only after that is the family. And she has never forgiven me for that. My children grew up on this campus and I'm ever grateful to this institute. And lastly, COVID, because that was the crowning glory of my career. Literally, COVID means crown, corona. It gave me an opportunity to do a lot more than what I imagined when I entered the portals of this institute in January 1985. And it kept me busy. Normally, there is a void people say after you retire. When I retired in November 2020, I never felt the void because COVID was still going on. I used to come to the department daily. Then came the second wave. By the time the second wave came down, I realized that I have to find something. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for me, more difficult for others around me, including my former colleagues. So I've taken up a job with an organization that has good values and ideals, many of which match with my thinking. I joined as head of research and development at Tata's new medical and diagnostic company to keep myself busy. I hope to be of help and service to the institute. Whenever you need me, I will be here first, dropping everything else, because this institute has made me what I am. Thank you all very much.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ S.K. ಚತುರ್ವೇದಿ ಅವರು, ಇವರು ಕಾರಣಾಂತರದಿಂದ ಈ ಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು 1982ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಯಾಗಿ, ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಯಾಗಿ, ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ, ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ 2020 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವಾಗ ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ವಿಭಾಗದ HOD ಆಗಿ 2009ರಿಂದ 2011, ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ ರಿಹಬಿಲಿಟೇಷನ್ HOD ಆಗಿ 2011 ಇಂದ 2015ರವರೆಗೂ, ಮತ್ತೆ HOD ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ 2015ರಿಂದ 2020ರವರೆಗೂ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು 2016ರಿಂದ 2019ರವರೆಗೂ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಡೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಮರಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಗೌರವಿಸೋಣ. ಈಗ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ಪನವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಇವರು 1992ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯ ಸಹಾಯಕರಾಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫೀಸ್, ಮೇಲ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ವಾರ್ಡ್, ಪೀಡಿಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಸರ್ಜಿಕಲ್ ವಾರ್ಡ್, ರೇಡಿಯಾಲಜಿ, ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿ 2020 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಗೌರವಿಸೋಣ. ಮುಂದುವರಿದು ಈಗ ಶ್ರೀ KS ಗಂಗಾಧರಯ್ಯ, ಇವರು ಕೂಡ ಕಾರಣಾಂತರದಿಂದ ಈ ಸಭೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು 1989ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಡಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವೈರ್ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಟಾಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೇರ್ಗಡೆಗೊಂಡು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2000ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಟಾಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿ 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಷಿಯನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಾಯತ್ರಿ, ಇವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಶ್ರೇಯತರು 1989ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು, ತದನಂತರ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ, ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ 2021ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ ಮಾಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ.
Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank our beloved director, Pratima Murthy, registrar, MS, and the deputy MS for having invited all the retirees for this felicitation. This is one thing which was missing because even though we got it in the director's office, it was a private affair. But then in front of all the audience and the others outside physically. So it is very nice to be here and to be honored. So I would like to thank many people, starting from the director, the past directors, especially Dr. Narayan Reddy, because at that point of time when I joined, it was Dr. Narayan Reddy who was the director of this institute. Subsequently, all the directors, and foremost, the head of the departments, the pathology department, Dr. Sarladas, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Vani, Dr. Yasha, and now the present HOD, our Anita. And also the past registrars, all the registrars, I would like to thank them because without them, I would not have gone through this journey so smoothly. This institute, like Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao and Dr. Ravi has told, it has given me a great opportunity, not only for my growth, but also for the growth of the institute, for the growth of the department. I took really infant steps because I didn't know anything in this field, and then grew up to this level, and then reached to the level of professor. So at every stage, I had the support, not only of all the heads of the departments, of the other departments, including the neurology, the neurosurgery. I also would like to thank the technical staff of our department, the attenders of our department, because they were also very kind and helpful to us. The other faculty member whom I would like to mention is Dr. Ram Mohan. He was my mentor. And without him, I would not have known anything about electron microscopy, which I subsequently mastered in that. And not but the least, the students, the DM students, the postdoctoral fellows, and my PhD students. So I thank all of them. And I am fortunate, I should say, I was in the right time, right place to grow up in this institute. Thank you all. Thank you all.
ಶ್ರೀ ಎಂ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಇವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಶ್ರೇಯಿತರು 1994ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಲೋವರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ತದನಂತರ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿ 2012ರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತದನಂತರ 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ.
Hello. Respected Director, Registrar, MS and DMS, and the senior officers and senior retired staffs, and my brother and sister, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ 27 years ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು 7 years ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೇರುವಾಗ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂಥರ ಇತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ.
ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಎನಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಎನಿ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಮಾನ್ ಸೇರುವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 2 years ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫಡೆ ಅಂಡ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫಡೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೌಭ್ಯಾವ್ಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MN ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಅವಾಗ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಚಂದ್ರ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೆನೋಗ್ರಾಫರು. ಅವರೆಷ್ಟೋ ನನಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟು ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟ್ರು, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ನನಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಅವರೇ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ 1 year ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಜೋಸಫ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 6 years ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಟೆಲಿಫೋನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜಲ್ಲಿ 5 years ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ 7 years ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ಸ್ ಬರುವಾಗ 7 years ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆವಾಗ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಲರಾಮನ್, ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ರವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಆಗಿರೋ ನಾಗವೇಣಿ ಅವರು ಮೇಡಮು ಅವರ ನನಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು DPNR ಬಂದೆ. DPNR ಬರುವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ನನಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಯಿತು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಗುಡ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದು. ರಿಹಾಬಿಲಿಟೇಷನ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅನುಪಮ್ ಗುಪ್ತಾ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಗದೀಶ್ ತೀರ್ಥಲ್ಲಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೋಆಪ್ರೇಷನು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ನಾವು ಬರೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊರೋನಾ ಹೆವಿ ಟಫ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹಾಲಿಡೇಸ್ ಟೈಮು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸಾಟರ್ಡೆ ಸಂಡೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇರ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೈಸರ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದ ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಂದ ವ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಬರೋದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಟು ಮೀ. ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ OPDಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕರೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎವ್ರಿ 2-3 months ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾರಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರಂತ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಪೇಪರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಾಗಲಿ ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋರ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು 5 years ಇದೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಂತ ಮನೆ ಕೋರಮಂಗಲ ಇದೆ, ಇದ್ರೇನು ನನಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. 5 years ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಆ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ಆ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ನು. ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ HL ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, HL ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಥರ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರು, ಈ ಥರ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನು, ಈ ಥರ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಈ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಟ್ ರೌಂಡ್ 8 to 10 kilometers ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ಸು, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗಲೂ ನಾನು ವೀಕ್ಲಿ 2-3 times ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಡೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿನ್ನು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದು ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು DPNR ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗಲೂ ಅದು ಮರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಖಾಲಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಿಸ್ಸಸ್ ಹತ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೇಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮುರುಗನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮಿಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರೇ ಹತ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಈ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸ್ವಂತ ಮನೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಥರ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂದರೆ ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟು ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಮ್ಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬು ಸರ್, ನಾನು ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಮ್ಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಅವರು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಹಿಂದಿ ಅವರು, ತೆಲುಗು, ತಮಿಳ್ ಎನಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇದೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್. ಇವಾಗಲೂ ನನಗೆ ಡೈಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು, ಕೇರಳದ ಫೋನ್, ಸರ್ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾರೋ ಅಟೆಂಡರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಸರಿದೆ. ಈ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಇವಾಗಿರೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊಲೀಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಮಿನ್ ಕಡೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವರೇ. ಆಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ನರ್ಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವರೇ. ಇನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗ ಮೇಲೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಜೈ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ G. ಗುರುರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಶ್ರೇಯಿತರು, 1987ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ಸುಮಾರು 34 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಎಪಿಡೆಮಾಲಜಿ ವಿಭಾಗದ HOD ಆಗಿ 2000ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಿಂದ 2017ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿವರೆಗೂ, ಡೀನ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ 2017ರಿಂದ 2020ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿವರೆಗೂ, ವಿಜಿಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ವಿಜಿಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ 2016ರಿಂದ 2021ರವರೆಗೂ, ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿ 2020 ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ಮಾಹೆಯಿಂದ 2021 ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ಮಾಹೆಯವರೆಗೂ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೆ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೌರವವನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸೋಣ.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good afternoon. Respected Director Professor Pratima, Registrar Dr. Shankar Narayan, Dr. Murali Medical Superintendent, Dr. Arvinda, DMS, friends. First of all, I would like to really congratulate Professor Pratima for taking this bold decision of bringing people together when the pandemic is in the subsiding phase. I remember those days where we used to meet in Ashwini Hall. The hall used to be packed. People used to be standing. There was no place to sit for most people. People used to be standing outside the hall in the corridor. And it used to be such a lovely function. Because of the pandemic, COVID ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಂತಿತ್ತು. ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ತರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಡೆಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಪ್ರತಿಮಾ ಮತ್ತು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ತಂಡಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. 87ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 5ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ ದಿನ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾನು ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜಾನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೋ ಬೇಡವೋ ಅಂತ. ರೀಸನ್ ವಾಸ್ 2-3 ಕಾರಣಗಳಿತ್ತು. ಮೊದಲನೇದು, ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜಾನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಒಂದು 7 ವರ್ಷ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಲೆವೆಲಿಂದ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ತನಕ ಬಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಒಂದು ಹುದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ. ಎರಡನೇದು, ಆಗಲೇ ನಾನು ಯುನಿಸೆಫ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆನ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿಂದ ದಾರಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆಗ್ಲೇ. ಅದೇ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಹೊಸ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನನಗೆ. ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನನ್ನ MD ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 4 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಕೆಲವು ರೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಸ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಇಲ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನ್ಯೂರಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ರೆಫರಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಹಳ ಹೊಸ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, ನಿಮ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ರು, ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜಾನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಒಂದು 2 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ನಿಮ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು ಅಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಚಯ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜಾನ್ಸ್ನ ಕೆಲವು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಹೇಳೋರು, ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಬಟ್ ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟದ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅದರಿಂದ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮೂರನೇದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಲೇನೆ ನಿಮ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದುವರೆದಿತ್ತು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲದೇನೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಪಿಡಿಮಿಯಾಲಜಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲಿಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾವ ತರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ. ಸೊ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೋಗೋದೋ ಬೇಡೋ ಅಂತ. ಕಡೆಗೆ ಒಂದಿನ ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 4ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ನಾಳೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆದೆ. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಸುಮಾರು 35 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ತರಹದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಅಂಡ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ 2-3 ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದ ಉತ್ತಮ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹಸ್ ಎ ಫಿನಾಮಿನಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಥವಾ 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಯಾರೂ ಹೇಳಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ವರ್ಷಗಳು. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂತ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಸಕ್ತಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಹುಮ್ಮಸ್ಸು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇತ್ತು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ the institute gave a lot of independence in what we wanted to work. Of course, we worked with many colleagues from many departments, many different areas, but it gave a lot of independence to thinking, a lot of independence in executing our work, a lot of independence in taking things forward. And at the same time, there was all-round support in the institute. ಮೂರನೇದಾಗಿ we had wonderful colleagues. ನಾನು ಸೇರಿದ ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಕಡೆ ದಿವಸದ ತನಕ for several years, I could break walls and go across departments and sit and talk to many people and discuss many issues, do work with them, even though some of them were not directly related to epidemiology or public health. This was something which was which is very unique in this institute, where we could break walls, cross boundaries, move into other places, work in a friendly environment and in an atmosphere where we could take issues forward. So I would like to remember Professor G.N. Narayan Reddy for giving me this opportunity, for giving me this job at this institute. And since that day, till April 30th of last year, I have worked with all directors, all the registrars, administrative officers, teams in different academic section, client section, project section, engineering section, library information services, many other divisions in the institute, public relations office. And thanks, Prashid, for all those wonderful coffees we used to have. Several places we worked with many people and with different departments and divisions. Everyone was very, very helpful. And that's what made life more interesting and pleasurable. It gives the opportunity, yes, that we can take things forward. We can achieve what we want to achieve and bring both a good name to the institute as well as to the people who work in different areas along with us. During this time, we were able to not only start the department, establish the WHO collaborating center here, started the Center for Public Health, building a public health observatory, and several unique programs have been started. One of our major aim was also epidemiology should not stop at merely looking at the scenario, but should get translated to policies, programs, and interventions. Once my colleagues in the department joined me in 2013, Girish was with me since 2002. After that, Pradeep, Gautam, Arvind, Senthil, and nearly 50-60 project staff who continue to work in the department today. They all really opened up our thinking, contributed in many ways, and finally, they are with us for what we are today. So it's been a wonderful journey in that way, for really taking activities to from one level to the next higher level with all the colleagues around us and then serving the institute in these days. My family joins me in thanking all of you, all the people with whom we have worked earlier, and by placing their regards to all of you for being with me. At the same time, I had the opportunity to also work in different capacities at different times. The entire administration was highly supportive, was responsive in a very timely manner, and at the same time, highly efficient in delivering their services. And ultimately, that's what made NIMHANS a great institution to work with. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity and for remembering us amidst these COVID times. But at the same time, we'll be happy to work with the institution in whatever capacities you want our services, and we'll be there to support you. Thank you, everybody.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಎಂ ಶಶಿಕಲಾ ಇವರು ಕಾರಣಾಂತರದಿಂದ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು 1997ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದುವ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಪ್ಯೂಟಿ ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೂಪರಿಂಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಇವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರುವ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಮರಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇವರ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಮೂಲಕ ಗೌರವಿಸೋಣ. ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ PS ಶೀಲಮಾಳ್ ಇವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬ ವರ್ಗದವರು ಕೂಡ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇವರು 1985ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ ನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡು ಸುಮಾರು 35 ವರ್ಷ 11 ತಿಂಗಳ ಕಾಲ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು 2006ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿ 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೂಪರಿಂಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಭಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ವಾರ್ಡ್, ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ ICU, ಸರ್ಜಿಕಲ್ ICU ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಭಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಇವರು ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯ ಸಹಾಯಕರಾಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 33 ವರ್ಷ 8 ತಿಂಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಈ
I'm Hi. Oh. Was it about diagnosis? Should probably